Welcome to the Team to Be Miami Heat podcast and the Miami Heat Zone podcast. We're doing a live episode for you guys today, and we got a special guest, a friend of both of our podcasts, Digital Adele. How are you doing today, Digital Adele?
I'm doing outing. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate both of you having me on, and ready to talk some Miami Heat and NBA basketball.
Yes, sir. Do you want to plug your channel real quick and let folks know where they can find you on Twitter?
Absolutely. You can find me under Digital Adele on all social media platforms: Twitter, Blue Sky, Instagram. My channel is Hoops Profile on YouTube. So you can find that at youtube.com/at Hoops Profile. All one word.
Awesome. You got Nick joining. What's up, Nick? How are you doing today?
Hey, how's it going, fellas, man? Thank you guys for having me on again, bro.
Yeah. Do you want to let the audience know real quick they can find you online on Twitter?
Yeah, my handle is actually my screen name right there, Nick 2_NC.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining. There hasn't been much noise today, at least with the Jimmy Butler front, except for him trolling Pat Riley today at his coffee shop. So we can get into that later. But I wanted to ask you guys. So Nick and Adele, we'll start with you guys, obviously. But what do you think Jimmy Butler's market is? Let's say the Suns deal doesn't happen, because it's going to be very difficult to make that happen, even though Jimmy wants to go there, because that's the only team theoretically that's willing to give him his 2-year extension. And obviously we know all the issues with the Bradley Beal situation with his contract, his injury history, the no trade clause, having to have a third team come in, all that stuff. So let's say Jimmy caves and finally says, okay, maybe I'll be open to 5 or 6 teams, whatever. Just get me out of here. I don't want to play after the suspension or before the trade deadline. So what do you think his real market value is based on his behavior, based on his age, based on what he wants in terms of an extension? Like, what do you think we can actually get that would satisfy Pat Riley? I know he's going to be stingy, but he might not have to be at this point, because who knows if he's actually going to come back on the court and if we actually want to deal with that. So Adele, let's start with you. What do you think his real market value could be? Let's just say before at the trade deadline.
Yeah, so I'm also a contributor at 5 Reasons Sports Network, so I'm not going to spill too much because I leave that to those guys. That's kind of their thing. But what I'll say, his market value around the league at this moment, I wouldn't say near the trade deadline, because the deadline creates leverage, it creates urgency, and that's when teams up their offer. But right now, it's like a bag of potato chips and Twizzlers, like not much. It's because the contract size, his age, the lack of availability, and the drama that comes with him. And so for teams that are going to have the need for Jimmy Butler's services, they got to be a playoff team. And then also they got to have the ability to absorb that enormous contract and be willing to extend him.
He'll have the option too, right? No matter what team he goes to have that player option for that new team, correct? Right.
He'll have the player option to opt in. So like if they're not ready to extend him and they don't want to pay $52 or $53 million, they're probably not going to pull the trigger on that because of the opt-in.
It could be a rental, or they have to deal with him potentially opting in. Like maybe they just want to get off some bad contracts and they're like, okay, we want him as a rental, but he might opt in and kind of screw that team over in a sense. You never know with Jimmy. Like, who the hell knows what his real agenda is? I assume it's just the money piece. Does he actually want to contend? Because I wouldn't want to go to the Suns if he wants to contend, because the other piece of that is Miami's going to have to get pieces back, and it's going to have to be from that third team possibly, or even the Suns could possibly deplete their team that they don't even have any depth anyway. Like they're more deep than they were 2 seasons ago. They were a little bit with adding Tyus and a few pieces, but still they're not a deep team. Their bench scoring is horrible. So like, does he really care about winning? So Nick, what do you think? Do you think there's any world at any point we can get even a first round pick for Jimmy Butler? Because like, I think that's going to be a really bad look. But again, he has no market value. If we can't even get a first round pick, we had to give a first round pick to get Terry off. You know what I mean? Like, so like if we can't even get one single first for Jimmy, like this is not going to be fun for the Miami Heat's future. So what are your thoughts on his value?
Yeah, and I think that's the problem right now. Why there's kind of a pause on the talks and the trade rumors. I think they're definitely trying to get everything they can get out of him. But I do think that he does have a market value. I think his market value is simply anybody who wants to contend for a championship right now. I think the issue is just if they want to know if he's going to stay long term, right? So nobody's going to give him or give up assets to get him if they're not sure he's going to stay long term. And I think that's the main issue of why you don't see, basically the whole league trying to go after Jimmy, right? But he's put it out there that he wants Phoenix. So I think that pretty much says it all. Teams aren't going to reach out for a guy that has basically made it clear where he wants to be. With the Dame thing, the Bucks kind of just took a chance, except Dame still had 4 years left on his contract. He didn't really have that leverage. So Jimmy has that leverage to say, y'all could take me, but kind of like the Kawhi thing, I'm out of here once my contract is up, right? And I'm going to go where I want to go, right? Kind of what he did when he came here. So I do think that he has a market value, but those things that I alluded to just now, I think are what's kind of putting a pause or a stall on them.
Yep.
Now let's really just try to clear the air because there's a lot of people on Twitter. Twitter is in shambles right now. There's a lot of people that they're on Pat's side or they're blaming Pat or they're on Jimmy's side. Jimmy every day now he's coming out on social media trolling like always about various different things. But me and Nick were talking about this earlier. So Adele, I really want to get your point on this. Who is really to blame out here? Because when you really think about just the bigger picture, I think that they've been pretty lenient with Jimmy Butler in terms of they've given him $150 million after the bubble, no questions asked. They got him Kyle Lowry, even though it didn't work out. However, they still got him the guy he wanted. Okay, it's been reported that they have given him a lot of accommodations that even the big three, Miami Heat, never got. The guy they built a statue for never got. Okay, and like I said, they've allowed him to be him, and he said it himself. They've allowed me to, they have allowed me to be me. So when it comes down to this whole contract thing, which I was trying to explain to Nick, Pat never wanted him to play 82. We were never expecting 82 games from him, but the 50 to 60 games that he does play in, we need him to try because I think we can all agree here. We've seen Jimmy Butler in multiple regular season games, season after season, and especially last year. There was all those last games close to the end of the regular season, Pacers. And there's a bunch of games where if Jimmy would have tried, we're out of the play-in tournament. I know a lot of people will say, yeah, but Pat disrespected him, told him to shut up. But then Jimmy Butler, he's known for kind of ruffling guys. He said that Duncan was the stupidest player he's ever played with. He's made a bunch of subliminal comments to a lot of people. You see what I'm saying? So if you're telling me that he's upset because Pat told him to shut his mouth, and it's really only about basketball, and we know how old school Pat Riley is. You know what I mean? So where do you really, stand with that, Adele?
So there's a couple of things. The first thing is, could Pat Riley have phrased it better, had a little more tact, handled him with kid gloves? Yes, he could have. Jimmy's gotten away with, like you said, all those things under the sun that nobody else gets away with. And the Heat were okay with that. The only thing that Pat Riley was asking of him really is more availability, be a leader in your actions on the court so that they can avoid the play-in. Because if you look at what happened when Jimmy gets run down before the playoffs and he's not, because he coasted for 25 games last season. They were in the play-in. He's like, I'm going to turn it on, be playoff Jimmy. And then he gets injured, and now you're in a bad spot. The whole key to all of this, the reason for all of this, because Jimmy is clearly worth it when he plays, is to win and to compete in the playoffs. And if you're not going to be able to do that, then why would they extend him? It's really just dangling the carrot, trying to figure out how they can get through to him to be more assertive in the regular season. And one of the things that irritate me, the whole philosophy on offense, the change, going to the guards to Tyler Hero more, the reason for it was to preserve Jimmy during the regular season so he could be his best self in the playoffs. So the fact that he came out and said, I don't like my role, is complete nonsense. Complete nonsense. It's about money. It's 100% about money. And so if he's not going to be willing to work for it, he's not going to be willing to, earn the future contract because they can't pay him for past performance. He already got paid for that. So that's where I think the majority of the blame falls on Jimmy. Could Pat had more tact? Yes, but the majority of the blame is on Jimmy.
Also, you can't. If he was younger, you could pay him for what he did. Like if he was doing that from like age 22 to 31, yeah, then we could pay him for what we think he's going to do because he's still in his prime, but he's in the twilight of it.
You hit the nail on the head. It's for what he still can do in the future. At 35, you have no guarantee of that. He hasn't been healthy in how many years?
Exactly. Let me tell you this too, to add on to your point, because again, he was coasting. You said he coasted in maybe 25 games or whatever it was. He missed the third game of the season for rest last year after he had dental work and missed the entire preseason. You couldn't do dental work before the preseason, like right? He didn't play in the preseason last year. Rest the third game. There was games where he took under 7, 8 field goals, whatever. And here's the thing, though, what I think also Pat Riley saw, because one, they wanted to see, can he turn it on? That theoretical, can I turn it on? And yes, he could kind of, but it's not like Shaq or Steph Curry or whoever, like the Warriors and the Lakers, when they say we're going to turn it on in the playoffs. Like Jimmy's not that elite type guy. He's a top 10 guy in the like he's a top 10 guy, I would say, like in his peak, maybe number 9, number 10. But anyway, to Martel's point, before the play-in, where we had 5 or 6 games where we needed to win one of those games or 2 of those games to get to the 6th seed, Jimmy was trying and he wasn't succeeding. So they knew he couldn't just turn it on. He was playing against the Pacers. He was playing against the Magic in the few games before we got to the ultimate playing game where he did get hurt, and he was able to turn it on, and it looked like playoff Jimmy was a thing. But it also, you see that in smaller glimpses. It's not guaranteed. So I think Pat saw that as an issue as well. And I don't think he was ever going to pay him, honestly. Like if he was going to pay him last year.
But he was. Because remember, he told Jimmy, and then Nick, don't worry, because we're going to get to you, because we had a whole debate on Twitter about this.
Remember, I'm quiet. I'm just waiting.
Pat Riley said he spoke to Jimmy and his agent, and he said, behind closed doors first. He didn't bring this to the media until after the fact. He went to Jimmy plus the agent, said, how can we get Jimmy to play more games? Then we look, and then Jimmy's at a tennis tournament when he was sick. So when you do those type of things in Pat Riley's face, remember old school Pat Riley? We are forgetting who Pat Riley is. Listen, he'll fight Shaq. He'll fight D. Wade. He'll fight like Alonzo Mourning. He doesn't care. Could he have said it better? Absolutely. And I will say Pat should have done a better job building the team around Jimmy and Bam. That obviously goes without saying. But I'm just talking about Jimmy Butler's work performance, especially when he hasn't been an all-star these past 2 seasons and he wants a max deal. And then also, too, when he's telling the media, oh, well, we're going to the NBA Finals. We don't care where we're at, like in the standings. We don't care about the play-in tournament. We'll play whoever. You have to be careful when you say things like that. Obviously, we're not going to take him literally for every legitimate word. But when you're out here saying that you don't care, and then now we're at the main stage and you're not available, that's going to piss off Pat when he told you from the beginning of the season, I need you to be here for the guys. But go ahead, Nick.
All right. Couple of things. I wrote down a couple of the points that you guys were going over just so I don't forget. Kyle Lowry, right? That's a big one I hear a lot. Yes, Kyle Lowry was his friend. But Kyle Lowry was not the only guy that he wanted. So when we use that as kind of like a gotcha, hey, they got who he wanted. It's not the only guy that he wanted. To another point, I think that, Kyle Lowry in 2021 was the biggest free agent name at that time. So why not get him? Who else were we going to get with the cap space that we had? Were we just going to sit on that cap? We had to use the cap money.
Wait, but hold on. Not to interrupt you. We're not saying that we shouldn't have gotten him. All I'm saying is, especially when he was here, I don't think Jimmy Butler held him accountable in terms of, I'm the leader of the team. Because all you ever hear is that Kyle Lowry never wanted to be here. And I think that's ridiculous. And it's unprofessional.
So the argument isn't we got Kyle Lowry. The argument is that once we got him, it showed up to be a bad decision. Is that the argument?
Yeah, no argument. But I'm just saying they've accommodated Jimmy Butler. That is accommodation that they gave to Jimmy. You see what I'm saying? So when people say that, it's really all on Pat, I would say it's more like 80% on Pat and then 20% on Jimmy because, like I said, Pat's job is to improve the roster. Jimmy is supposed to galvanize the troops and be available. That's his job at $50 million.
Well, in that aspect, I see where you're coming from. I thought the argument there was, hey, they got Kyle Lowry. They did their job, buddy. You know what I mean?
No.
I just think there's more nuance to that than it just being that, hey, we got Kyle. There's a lot of nuance there. That was the biggest free agent name in 2021. If they didn't get him, I would have been like, what the hell? Why not? Everybody would have. Kyle Lowry, we were celebrating Kyle Lowry. Let's not be, disingenuous here. You know what I mean? We were celebrating it when we got him. We finally got a point guard that could run the floor. If anything, he could have been a floor general. That's what we were all hoping. It didn't work out. Actually, we can say it did work out. We had success with Kyle. He took us to 2 Eastern Conference Finals and the finals, right? So, I mean, we can't really say it failed completely. There was success there. There were memories there that we'll forever remember, y'all. You know what I'm saying? So that's number one. The other point I heard was, we give him a lot of chances and we allow him to be himself and all that. What franchise doesn't allow their stars leeway, y'all? I mean, we can't just say, that's an issue, right? That we gave our star franchise a little bit of power. For the first time, Miami's not known for doing that. We bent a little bit. I have no issue with that, right? But that's not to say we can't give the guy one more year, guys. It's just one more year he's asking for. Here's my thing, right? If Pat, Mickey, and Spo really think that this is a competitive team that can win in the championship, I feel like that's only the case if we have Jimmy. So if they really feel like they can run with this roster, we only have a good year or 2 years left with this roster. Why not extend him to 1 extra year? It's just 1 extra year, right? That's my biggest issue about the whole Jimmy thing, right? It's about, hey, this guy came here, he uplifted this franchise, he got people paid, right? He gave really Bam the leadership role, so that made Bam have to step up and do his thing even earlier, right? He gave Tyler Hero the bravado that he has. He gave Nico the confidence and bravado that he has. And all he's saying is, I want to retire Hedo. Give me that 1 extra year. And everybody's losing their damn minds. I don't understand it. You know what I mean? Like, let's just give the guy 1 extra year to roll with the team we all love. And he retires. We get to go to his ceremony, his last couple of games, and clap him off, send him on a goodbye. What's the problem? He gave us some great memories. That's all I'm saying. It's either the 1 extra year or he gets a player option, and he takes the player option anyway, so we still get him for that 1 year. And then, what are we really arguing about?
I'll tell you what we're arguing about.
3-4
go ahead, Adele.
extension.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what we're arguing about. We're talking about $52 million is what we're talking about.
No,
and I'll give you an analogy.
58.
My apologies. It goes up 5%.
Because the 52 option would turn into a 54, and then you get another year after that. 58.
Right. So the money goes
1 year.
Hold on. It's 2 years. So the first year is, no matter what, there's going to be 1 more year potentially because of the opt-in. The second year is what we're talking about.
With the extension, if he was to get the extension, that opt-in would be erased to a new contract where the salary would increase.
I understand.
Million, right? Yeah. So I get it, but who are we going to spend that money on?
But hold on a minute. Well, but here's the point. Here's my point. So we're talking about somebody else's money. It's a business, right? You as a consumer, you go to buy a house. The house is broken down. The heater only works half the time. It needs some TLC. It's high maintenance. There's drama in the neighborhood. Your grass is dead. You got to spend a lot of money to make this house a home. Are you going to pay $52 million for what that house used to be 20 years ago when it was brand new? Or are you going to pay current market value for what you've been getting?
Brother,
maybe a 10-year-old, a 10-year-old house, not 20.
Hold on. I hear the point.
I
hear the point you're making, guys. I hear the point. Well, I hear the point you're making, Adele. The point you just made, right? But let's talk about Jimmy's games and his availability for a second, because that was another point I wanted to talk about.
Let's do it.
Let's go ahead and talk about it, right? Jimmy was drafted in 2011. I'm looking at the stats right now, right? His first rookie year, he played 42 games. He played 82 games the year after that. That's the only time in his career he played all 82. We have 67, 65, 67, 76 his last year in Chicago. We have 59 his first year in Minnesota, 65 between Minnesota and Philly that year. So he played another 65 games. We have 58 his first year here, 52, 57. My point is, this is who Jimmy's been before he got here. So what are we doing? Why would we
want to reward him
now?
knowing he's going to miss 25 games?
But
maybe more as he goes
I do
Hold
have a
on.
reply to that. I do have a reply. To
Let
that.
Adele cook. Let Adele cook.
Go ahead.
Has his production during the regular season been the same?
Okay, let's talk about that too. Let's talk about
it.
The offense. The offense.
What about the offense?
He has a 20% usage rate right now. That's the problem.
No.
Is
Hold
that-
on.
Are you telling me that's because Jimmy doesn't want the ball in his hands?
Let me ask you a question. You've hooped, right?
I have.
All right. So if a superstar wants the ball, does he get the ball?
Except for in the Miami Heat, apparently.
Nah, not true. No. You go
Except for
take
on
the
Miami
ball.
Heat.
No matter what. You're telling me Jimmy hasn't touched the ball? No, Jimmy touched the ball and then passed it back out. Because Jimmy was hurt by what Pat said. He wanted paid
This season,
and he started
okay,
coasting.
This season. Let's talk about season 1 till now.
No,
Let's talk
hold on.
about season 1
Wait,
till
hold
now.
on. But Nick, you're missing the major point. We agree with you. Jimmy's never played those games. But what I'm trying to explain to you, and please correct me if I'm wrong, everyone who's a Miami Heat fan has heard this phrase, wait for playoff Jimmy. Correct? Right or wrong?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What
The
that
whole
means
world
is,
has heard that. Yeah.
hold on. So what that means is we don't care about the regular season, which that's the propaganda that Jimmy Butler has said out of his own mouth, which honestly that hurt the Miami Heat because now you have the Miami Heat thinking, oh, wait, we can make minimal changes to the roster because Jimmy Butler is going to take us to the promised land. And I think that they've honestly built it the way that this team is structured with barely any talent in terms of winning a championship talent. They think that we're going to overachieve every single year off the back of Jimmy Butler. That's how they built the team. So what I'm trying to say is that when you have Jimmy Butler, cool, he's not going to play the 82. No one wants him to. Let's say he plays 60 games. He really only might have played 40 because me and you both know he's in the game half-assed, right or wrong, or coasting, or doing whatever.
I don't think he half-assed. You notice, guys, when we talk about half-ass and all that, we never bring up his defense. We only talk about him scoring the ball.
Oh, we can talk about his defense.
Hold on, but
let's talk about it.
The offense.
There's
multiple games, and he has 9 field goals at halftime.
Let me make a point. Let's scratch this season. Let's talk about the season.
Why would we scratch the season? This is the whole crux of what we're talking about.
He clearly has a point to prove this season, Adele. That's why.
Bro, what's his point?
I'm trying to say when he's playing basketball at his best with nothing on
his boss, hold up, his boss who pays him said, we need you to be available and be a leader. You cannot throw out this season because this is what we're talking about.
Is the same. That's why I brought that games play stats. He's been the same available that he's been throughout his whole damn career.
Bro, he has not given the same level of effort in any of the games he's played except for 2.
And this season you're talking about?
This season.
Bro, this season Jimmy has a point to prove. I don't think he wants to
But what does that matter? So you have a point to prove, you just don't show up to work and try? I don't understand.
Also, I was going to say, if he had a point to prove, his usage would be up because he's like, all right, I'm the superstar. I'm the best.
I got a point to prove. I'm going to go stand in the corner.
Right? Exactly.
If Coach spoke, guys, I'm a coach. I tell my player to go stand his ass in the corner. He better stand his ass in the corner. I don't.
You think Coach Spo told him to go stand in the corner?
No way.
Yes, I think.
Get out of here.
I think Coach Spo's offense.
You can't even say it with a straight face.
Listen, I think his offense is a free-for-all offense. He spreads the ball around. Anybody who rebounds it could initiate the offense. Anybody, Jovic, whoever gets the damn ball could run up the court and initiate the offense.
I tell you what I'm going to do for you, Nick. I'm going to cut up some tape of Jimmy getting the ball and just passing it back out.
Am I right or am I wrong? Do we have a guy that initiates his offense?
What is your point with that, though? I'm sorry.
Jimmy's not the guy that is in the game plan to initiate the offense. We can't expect the man to just go against the scheme of the offense.
No one
and
is
what are y'all saying? Y'all are saying that because y'all saying you could go out there and say, give me the ball. And they just don't give him the ball.
Think about it.
Yes, they would give him the ball.
Yes, he's been carrying this team.
100% they would give him the ball.
So the coach going to move out the way. If coach draws up a play and he takes the Kobe role, Coach Spo. Like I said, anybody everywhere else does this, but in Miami, I haven't seen it with this group. I have not seen this group being able to just freely do what they want.
It's not about doing what they want. So you hooped, you coach, you know this. In the structure of any offense, the best player will freelance in that offense if he sees a better opportunity. He'll
But
take
that's if I
advantage
tell
of it.
him to freelance, Adele. That's
No,
what I'm trying to tell you.
no, bro.
If I got a game plan for a team and I've been in
Listen.
the study room, so hold on, let me make my point.
Yeah.
I've been in there
Yeah.
studying my ass off
Right.
in the film room, and
Yeah.
I go out there to my team and I say, "This is what we're gonna do. You better not go out there and freelance, bro.
So let me ask you a
I'm gonna
question.
take you out the game until I'm ready for you to freelance."
But let me ask you a question. So when you're saying you tell them what to do within the game plan, you're saying they have no freedom or choice or decisions they can make within that scheme?
No, within that scheme, for example, if the scheme breaks down, yeah, I'm not saying just freeze and do nothing. Of course,
But that happens like every
in
other
that
play, right?
situation.
It
So-
breaks down every other play.
Hold
We
on.
can say
So
that.
here's my
Absolutely.
point,
We can
though.
say that. I'm sure it happens, but I'm saying we can say that. I'm sure it happens, right? But I'm saying when things are going well, we rebound the ball in transition. We go up the court. It's not like they're just handing the ball off to Jimmy. Whoever has the ball in their hands initiates the offense.
But that's not what we're saying, dude. Jimmy gets the ball within the flow of the offense, and he's not being aggressive or looking for a shot. He just passes the ball back out because he is making his point, as you put it.
And what's
to this
going on the
organization.
floor while he has the ball in his hand? Bam's out there setting screens. Duncan's running around. There's a play being run, bro. There's not
A set. The NBA does not run a set every play. That does not happen in the NBA.
Yeah, I was going to ask
Miami,
you what
they
the
run-
percentage is. Like
they
one
run
out of every
concept.
five plays.
When's the last time you seen people ISO on Miami Heat and just spread the floor?
But
Damn.
that's
Let
something
people
different. But so all right, we're getting into nuance of basketball. Just because you're not running a set doesn't mean you're not running concepts and actions. There's concepts, actions, and reads off of each of those actions. And you have the
And
freedom and ability
the-
within that to make reads.
Exactly. There will be 3 different options you can make in a scheme, right? But to initiate that scheme is the point I'm trying to make. Jimmy is not always the guy that is going out there initiating the scheme, initiating the offense. And I don't always want him to be. Y'all trying to kick my ass today, huh? Y'all brought Dow on here too? Nah,
I saw Nick and I had to come up.
Yeah, so yeah, bro, that's the point I'm trying to make. This is not an offense made for a star to come in and demand the ball, unless they're LeBron and Wade, apparently. Right? I haven't seen that. Tyler's getting that freedom now because he's really the only pure ball handler that we have on the team that's going to look for other guys and try to get a bucket and make that decision in the read and react, right?
But what's
Jimmy,
your
when he
excuse for when Jimmy has the ball? That's my question, though.
Okay, here's my question. When Jimmy has the ball, what do we want him to do? Are we saying the problem is he doesn't score enough? He doesn't take enough shots? When we
He's
say
not
more effort,
being
what do we
engaged
say?
and
Engaged.
aggressive.
Engaged and aggressive, how he's not asking for the ball.
No. So he's doing cardio. Like listen, we all know what half-assing means. Like I said, Nick, if you're telling me that you've seen Jimmy Butler these past few years on the Miami Heat, and you're like, man, he only has like 4 points in his halftime, or man, he only has 9 points in the third quarter, or man, like I said, last year, at the end of last season, there was a bunch of games right before the playoffs we lost because Jimmy Butler did not do anything. I'm talking about like the game was neck and neck. And you're
Could not do anything, Martel. Not just he tried. He just wasn't
That's
able
not
to.
trying. No, that's not trying because he tells
What do you
us.
mean?
Wait, no, because he told us, I don't care that we're going to be in a play-in tournament. You can't do that. I'm sorry.
He's not trying to lose, though. Come
Your
on.
leader can't come out and say, we don't care where we are and we don't care about anything and we're going to be in the play-in tournament and that's okay. No,
That's
there's
fact.
no leader that can do that. I'm sorry.
But I think Jimmy's a shit talker. I'm a shit talker, so I be liking it. I love all that shit.
No,
He
so
go,
then when
if
Pat
I was
tells
playing,
him-
I'd win.
So when Pat tells him to cut the foolishness, we cannot be mad. We can't be mad because at some point, especially dealing with this for 5 years, everyone gets to a point where they're like, "Yo, we are tired of the trolling now. We need to win these games."
But here's the thing,
See what I'm saying?
Here's the thing, and I want to hear what Daryl got to say. But
Go
here's
ahead,
the
Daryl.
thing, man.
And then
Hold
we're
on,
gonna
real
let,
quick.
Adele cook.
Let me make a point real quick, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
My issue is not that what Pat Riley said. My issue, and I'm pretty sure what Jimmy's issue is is that Pat went in front of the world and basically told him to shut his mouth and play basketball. That is a grown damn man. You don't do that to no grown damn man. You don't go in front of the cameras and say, shut your mouth. You should shut your mouth, especially to the man who put this franchise on this right here. You don't do that to him. You do that when y'all are face to face in a room.
And that we agree.
That's where I feel like the problem is, right? Pat did not look that man in the face and tell him specifically what he expects, specifically whatever. He went in front of that press conference. He did not. He did not. It's clear. Yes,
Listen,
I do. Yes, I do.
You guys keep but Nick, you keep on focusing about the shut up part. Remember, Pat said he sat down with Jimmy and his agent prior to the shut up and said, "Listen, how could we talk to Jimmy about playing more games?" Everyone's focusing on the shut up. But they did talk to Jimmy behind closed doors.
But again, he's not.
That's all about business. Like, why would you think that? You think he's just gonna come out like off the cuff and say that without talking before? He's straight up business guy. Like, why would you say that, bro? Like, what has he ever done that says I won't act accordingly to business, bro?
And Pat's not the guy to say stuff behind your back and not say it to your face. He'll say it to your face.
And shouldn't Jimmy be able to take it? Out of all the characters, Jimmy should be able to take it. He talks a lot of shit too.
But listen, we agree. We agree you shouldn't say something like that publicly. I agree with you.
Yeah, exactly.
100% I agree with you.
There's no need for it.
But I also will say, I guarantee you, Pat told him already many times, this is what we expect. This is what we need from you in order to be able to extend you and pay you. I guarantee you he had that conversation with
Nick. Nick, let me ask you a question. What are you so afraid of?
What do you mean, bro? What do you mean, that Jimmy leaves?
Like I heard you earlier. You're like, it's just one more year. Like, what's the deal? Like, what are you so afraid of?
Because
are they winning? Are they winning a title with Jimmy Butler this year?
Without him either.
Are they winning one with them this year?
No. To answer your question, no.
Then what the hell is the problem?
I think our chances rise with him on our team regardless.
Yeah, he's probably still our best player technically if he's engaged.
But you're still not winning.
But I think we have a chance. The chance that Pat Riley and Spo keeps alluding to, that they seem to be delusional with it about. I think we only have that chance with Jimmy on our roster. I don't think there's a chance.
But you just said they're not going to win it, regardless whether he's on the roster or not. So what are you so worried about? And why do you want to punt it down the field for 2 more years when it's just going to be older? Like,
because my point there would be, what else are we going to spend the money on? I need specifics. I need to know where else.
You need specifics. What has this guy ever shown you that he hasn't gone? Like, dude, you guys have got to get off this. Like, oh, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Bro, this guy's been in the fucking finals 19 times, bro. 35% of his whole 35% of his man's career, he's been in the finals.
Joe Biden been a politician and we just voted his ass out.
What a finals team looks like? Like, bro, like, why are you guys are siding with a guy who wants to hold the freaking franchise hostage, bro? Literally wants to hold them hostage. He's done it everywhere he's gone. And you still are like begging, oh, please, can I give you one more year? Bro, fuck that. Bro, you don't want to be here?
Okay, hold on. Fuck that. Okay, so fuck that. What are we going to do with the money? What's the plan?
I don't care, but I got to have the money to do something.
Fuck Jimmy, he's out.
Whatever. Because if I don't have the money, I can't do anything.
Bro, that's bad business.
No, that's the way it works in business, bro. You got to have the money so that you can go get something.
That's called bad business. There's good business.
No, it's not. That's what you think it is. That's new fandom out there saying, "Oh, I gotta keep paying it forward down the road."
Listen to what
when
the
guy is
players are
holding you
saying
hostage
right now, Daryl.
Bro, you're scared, bro. You're so scared, bro. Like,
hey, Nick,
listen to how they're talking about Pat.
Anybody else.
Hey, Nick, I got a question for you, Nick.
Bro.
What's up?
Hey, Nick, I got a question for you. How many games in 2023-2024 season did Jimmy Butler have single-digit field goal attempts?
He's gonna say it's because of the usage.
Adele gonna cook.
I want to know how many times it's single digits.
I expect that you have the numbers in front of you. What
I do.
In those games?
Do you have any idea? Do you want to take a guess?
I don't know exactly. No. What is it? And you
Okay.
said what year? I'm sorry. Hold on. You said what year?
Just last season.
How many single digit games did he have?
He had in the entire year 5. In the
That's how
entire
many.
the entire 82 game season and the games that he played, he had 5.
Which was 64 games. So 59 games in double digits, right?
Right, but I'm not talking about double digit scoring, but double digit field goal attempts.
Oh, attempts. Okay.
Double
What about
digit
this year?
field goal
What about
attempts.
this year in the 12 games that he's played out of the third, whatever the number is?
Hold on, let him cook. Let Adele
Oh,
cook.
all right. So, okay. So point there being what?
He's got 8 already this season. Single digit field goal attempts. You're
And
telling
he
me
wants 50 million.
trying? You're telling me he's trying.
They're not paying him, guys, and I think he knows that.
He's making $52 million.
They're not extending him.
$500,000 a game
So why
per game.
Why are you guys acting like players asking for a trade when they're uncomfortable or not being extended?
What does this got to do with him trying?
No, Nick. Listen, like I said, because we gotta move on. This is the thing that we're all saying. Jimmy Butler is being paid right now $48.8 million. Plus Adele, he just said it, $500,000 plus a game. And you have a guy that's doing single digit, field goal attempts, and then he wants to throw Spo under the bus. I agree with you. They did change the offense.
The offense stinks, y'all. Let's just call it what it is.
That goes without saying. But look, Giannis, Luka, LeBron, and all the greats on all these other teams, they get the ball when they want it, and the role players know in crunch time, I am giving the ball to so-and-so. That's how it works. But hold on 1 second. We have 282 people in the building. Make sure that you guys go to Who's Profile, subscribe to this channel. Make sure that you guys go to Team to Beat Miami Heat channel. We're probably going to go for another 10 minutes because I don't want to hold everybody up. Starting with Daryl. Has Eric Spoelstra taken a step back this season? What is going on with Spo and his rotation? There's a lot of people that have been very critical of Spo. I think that the Miami Heat of late have been doing better. The young guys have been doing better. Guys like Khalil, Jovic and Jaime, they are starting to step up. But how do you feel about Eric Spoelstra so far right now compared to how you did feel, like within the few games to start the season?
If I could trade Eric Spoelstra for assets, I would.
You are a trip, Daryl, bro. You are
Bro, the stuff that this guy is doing on the court is criminal, bro. Criminal. Like,
please elaborate. We almost have 300 people in here.
Where do we start? I am so sick and tired of the rah-rah bullshit after the games. The freaking, we got to try harder, stay within the... I'm so sick of that crap. Like, the stuff that he makes mistakes on now, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just a divorce, I don't know if he has the same fire, I don't know. Dude, the stuff he makes mistakes on are literally basic high school crap. Like, just take any game, for example, bro. Tyler Hero's getting doubled. What are you supposed to do if you're getting doubled? You need to space the floor and you need shooters. What does Spo do? Spo goes and puts 4 ball handlers on the floor so that they can all stand there, get the ball, feel like they got the ball, dribble for 5 seconds, give it to the other guy so he can dribble for 5 seconds. Like, he has no process. He is an offensive moron. Like, moron. All these stuff, dude, he's lost 7 games this year. Any coach that's lost 20% of the games in the amount of games we played this year should be fired. Should be fired. Straight up. You can like him all you want. He has been goddamn horrible for 2 freaking years. He won't play his picks. He won't play the freaking guys Pat drafts. Like, we've talked about this. How do you build a team? How is Pat supposed to build a team? And he doesn't know what the guy can do because the coach won't play him. He got beat by 36. We lost the rebounds by, I think it was 36. And he won't play the goddamn kid who's 7 foot. And then he comes out the next game against the same team and puts the same fucking lineup. And almost lost that game too. Like, what are you doing, dude? Are you even coaching? Do you take your challenges home and put them in a freaking trunk somewhere so you can hold on to them because you don't like the challenge system when it's clearly guys are looking around? I don't even give a fuck if you lose a timeout, bro. Challenge something. It's ridiculous the mental mistakes that this guy makes. It's criminal. It's worse than anything that's going on, bro.
I would trade that motherfucker in a heartbeat.
Go ahead, Nick, and then we'll close with Adele.
Man, I was about to say me and Daryl agree on something until he said trade Spo. Like, that is OD. Oh my
Okay,
God.
so you tell me what he's done, Nick. You tell me.
Bro.
Make a case for Spo. And if you point out some shit from 10 years ago, I'm gonna crucify you.
You pointing out shit. You pointing out shit Pat did 32 years ago, broski.
Pat's got 55 years of history and 35% are telling you to go screw yourself. What does Spo have?
Hey, that's Pat's son. That's Pat's son. What are we talking about? If anybody's Pat's son in the NBA, is Spo.
Yeah.
So you like Pat, you gotta like Spo. That's number one. Number two. Number two, Spo is accomplished. He proved himself to me when he had a Dion Waiters squad kicking ass. That's when I said, all right, Spo is that boy.
Everybody go back.
Now he carried Jimmy and the G League squad to the finals with a young Bam and injured Tyler Hero.
So Spo did that because that's what you want to pay Jimmy for.
Now we acknowledge Jimmy did it, but Spo is a part of that. Spo is a part of that. Spo is a defensive guru and an adjustment guru. He's fumbled a lot this year. I'm not saying you were hitting head on when you're talking about this season. That's why I was happy. I was like, yeah, me and Daryl finally agree. But nah, we not trading my boy. Who we gonna trade him for? What the hell? Who we bringing in?
Bro.
Frank Vogel.
Oh, go ahead, Adele.
Come on now.
Go ahead, Adele. Let Adele
I just want to say Spo's one of the best coaches in the entire league. 95% of coaching is unseen. It's in practice. It's managing those personalities, developing players. It's stuff the fans do not see. The 5% you see on game day, he's been atrocious this season with the 5% you see on game day. But what are we really talking about? What all-star do the Miami Heat have?
Mm-hmm.
They don't have one. They don't. But hold on, they don't have one.
Run the damn offense correctly.
Hold up, they don't have one. So they've won over 50% of their games every season since the year 2020. Every single year. Since the year 2009, they've only had, 2 seasons under 40 games won? 2. That's it. He's the best coach in the league, dude. And they consistently develop talent where nobody has. The problem with this team is roster construction. The lack of functional size, lack of actually playmakers on the squad. I'm going to tell you, I'm glad you asked. The problem is the CBA changed, and the way Pat Riley built teams through free agency no longer works because of the second apron. No team is going into the second apron. And because of his philosophy in trading away draft picks, whenever that CBA changed, they don't have the capital to let Adam Simon continue to draft players. When they do draft, you get Bam Adebayo. You get Tyler Hero. You're getting Kel'el Ware. And the reason Ware didn't play early is he wasn't ready. He makes a lot of defensive mistakes. He wasn't hustling and he doesn't rebound well.
Who cares?
Because you are not going to win games that way. That's who cares.
Adele, what have they been the last 3 years through the first 25 games? What have
they've been over 500 for 7 straight years.
They're at 500 every year at 25, 30 games.
No, they were at like 65 winning percentage in 2021, 65%.
That was their number 1 seed.
Or because they played the first round picks against the teams that they lost already. Like,
I don't understand what you're getting at. They win. Winning is the business.
You have to put the guy up there. You have to find out. Like,
you do find out. Has Bam worked out? Hold on, has Bam worked out?
Go young.
Has Tyler worked out?
Has Tyler played?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. He developed, though. He didn't get 40 minutes a game.
He played.
He developed him. Did you see Tyler Hero in college?
He played since day one.
He didn't play 40 minutes since day one.
I asked you for 40 minutes.
Okay.
He played since day one.
Okay. So guess who else played once they were ready?
Once they were ready. So the 185-pound kid that came out of Kentucky was ready?
Yes. Did you see
No, he
him
wasn't.
play?
No, he wasn't. They played him.
You didn't see him cook everybody in the summer league that season.
If you're telling me that you're over here talking about the best coach in the world, you think you have a defensive player of the year standing next to him, and this coach can't come up with a system.
Who's
for
defensive player of the year? Bam?
that guy?
Are we
Like-
talking about Bam?
Yeah.
Okay, you have Bam, defensive player of the year. So who's the other player you're saying to put beside him?
Where?
He wasn't ready. He would have fouled out in 5 minutes.
Stop.
There's no stop.
You can't sit here and tell me that this guy is the best coach in the league. You have a defensive player candidate that you're going to stick right next to him, and you're telling me that you can't get that guy ready to stand in the slot and block shots? That's
No,
bullshit.
they didn't get him ready until now.
Oh, you're playing-
I have tape to prove it. It's not my opinion. There's
I-
tape to prove it.
You got good tape for real though.
can't play both sides and tell me he's the best coach and he can't come up with a system to put that guy in the game for 15
It's
minutes.
not about system. Spo can't make him be in the correct body position. Spo can't make him go for rebounds with two hands.
So then what's the
It
development?
takes time to develop. It takes time.
God, bro.
This isn't NBA 2K.
You're playing both sides.
Okay.
How am I playing both sides?
You're telling me 2 months later the kid all of a sudden has it, but he didn't have it for the 6 months.
He's making strides. I'm the biggest Khalil Ware critic there is on the 5 Reasons Sports Network.
Yes, he is.
He's making strides. The last game he played was the best game he played. That's from a defensive standpoint. It's from a rebounding standpoint, an effort standpoint. And his first 5-minute stint was bad. The rest of the game after Malik Allen pulled him aside, chewed him out a little bit, got in his ear, he freaking played better. He started playing harder. He started boxing out.
Do you like the way Jovic is playing now?
At this moment, yes.
Why do you think he's playing better?
I think he got sat down. The message was received that you need to play harder. You need to defend and rebound.
And rebound because he's a bad rebounding problem. Yes, Adele, keep cooking him. Yeah,
Daryl's trying to get to his role,
Keep
his
cooking
opportunity,
Jokic.
right, Daryl?
Absolutely.
But you got to be consistent in that role.
Yes.
And that's what Spo.
So
When
you
Spo,
think he's doing well handling the ball now?
I think he's doing better. He's making better decisions in the half
So
court.
for the first 2.5 years, he was never allowed to do that.
He wasn't very good at the half court.
How do you know? He was playing the 5, and he was sent to the G League. And
I got some tape I can show
Tell
you
the
if you'd
coach,
like.
Stop playing him at the 5.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah, that's a good point.
Playing him at.
point.
All right. Let's see. This is very nuanced. I love these conversations.
Me too.
But Adele,
Go ahead,
how
Adele.
much of it is actual opportunity to Daryl's point? Look at Jaime the last few days. He's in a different role. He's getting more usage.
Jaime was injured. He was coming off of injury. He had no explosiveness.
Really?
He didn't.
Is it a
Yes,
groin
I'm
from
tell-
last year still.
No, at the beginning of the season, he injured his groin. He couldn't. He wasn't even.
reacted?
He wasn't even able to freaking grab the rim for the first half of the season.
No, his role changed, bro. Like, what are you talking about? In the beginning,
Yo, the
in the
role. You
in
don't think he had opportunities within the role?
Fiverr. Like, you're not watching that?
There, he lost his opportunities because he wasn't playing well.
No, he lost his opportunities because the guy that changed the offense put the guy that was in a role last year that he thrived in, and now changed.
He was in like 75 different roles last season.
Jimmy here, which is exactly what Jimmy's talking about.
No, Jaime was in like 75 different roles last year. That was part of the problem. He wasn't in one consistent role.
Listen, you gotta stop because you want to defend Spo. What is he as
Why would I defend Spo?
player? Jovic was a freaking forward. He was a point forward that handled the ball, and the damn coach.
He's
didn't
not a point guard.
for 2.5 years.
He's not a point guard.
You guys are surprised because the kid that's handling the ball has come out in the preseason and said, all I want to do is assist, and the guy has him playing backup center when we drafted a kid 15 who's 7 foot. What the hell are you talking about?
You think he's averaging a lot of assists per game?
I don't care. He's initiating
I care because that matters.
what that guy wants to do, and he can't get all the assists because Spo wants to put 4 guys in the same damn time that all want the ball instead of putting fucking shooters.
That was
When
my
they're
point.
playing 2 7-footers, and how are they going to guard that unless the guy runs to him?
So
That
you
was my
don't
point.
think Jovic had the opportunity to drive and kick or dish whenever he got his
Jovic,
touches?
They made him a spot-up shooter. That is
Yes.
fact, bro.
Yes, I agree with him on that. When he was starting
Yeah.
at the 4, he was standing in the wing or in the corner, catch and shoot 3. He
Agreed.
didn't have the opportunity to put the ball on the floor and initiate offense. I agree with
It
that.
wasn't until after that Olympic run that he went on and we saw him cook.
That is
And
not
then
what-
that's when we brought him back.
So I just want to ask you guys this. You think Jovic could play point guard, like point forward, as Daryl said?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, define point forward to us.
All right. So
now.
let me, so this is what I want to get at. Because what Jovic does best is in the open floor.
Yep.
His facilitating and handle is best in the open floor.
Why do you think that is?
Okay. Hold on a second. Do you think he can do the same thing in the half court
Absolutely.
consistently? You do?
Absolutely.
Sometimes.
I don't think he's ready for that. That's my point.
He's
Not in the
ready,
half court.
But we can give it to him. We can give it to him.
Eventually,
sometime,
yeah,
so
you
that's
can
cool.
develop that because he's 20.
You don't think the 6'10" kid can throw it over the top to the 7-foot guy like he's been doing, and everybody's like, "Oh wow, that's impressive." Yeah, he's 6'10".
Or
doesn't-
conversely, that wears 7 foot and has like a 7'8" wingspan.
Yeah.
Like,
This is why you lean into it. You're proving my point. Right?
Hey Adele, but
No,
we don't
I'm
need Jovic. Jovic doesn't need to be like a Ben Simmons type of point forward. He could be like a Lamar Odom type of point forward, who could actually get downhill, who could also score, hit the 3, and facilitate.
I think I think
Exactly.
you're missing my point. I don't disagree with you. What I'm saying is he's not completely ready for that. And in the past,
I
he
agree.
wasn't ready for it.
I
So
feel
what
you
do
on that.
I'll ask you the same thing I asked Nick. What the hell are you so scared of, and what do you care? If the
I
team
care about winning. That's what I care about. I care about winning.
and you're not paying Jimmy, then why aren't you playing this kid at his right spot?
Are you talking about in the past or now? I don't know what you're
No, they're
referencing.
not winning anything. You're not paying the other guy. You're going.
So you don't think Jovic is handling the ball more now?
play. What is so
But
hard?
I'm saying you don't think he's playing more now?
I
this
think Spo is finally realizing, oh my God, this kid actually knows how to dribble and pass.
Or conversely, early in the season, he wasn't
Gobert,
consistent.
because he doesn't play the damn 5.
Or early in the year, he wasn't being consistent either.
And Jimmy didn't
I'm
ask
playing
for a
hard.
trade earlier in the year too.
Playing
That
up
also plays into it too.
No, he was playing spot up shooter, just like JJJ.
Again, I love the
The last
fact that you think he's
So-
just
Put both of
Played
those
spot-up
guys on
shooter.
the ball.
So can I throw something in here?
Now,
So y'all don't
imagine
think
Go for it, Nick.
so y'all don't think this is also why Jimmy's sometimes standing in the corner? I'm just saying. I don't think that this may be the reason why we're arguing about this crazy offense. I'm just
No,
saying.
upset with the offense. That's a fact. Well,
This offense is stinky.
You
y'all.
realize Jimmy's usage rate is only down 3% this year, right?
And that's a problem. That's been a problem. This offense has been a problem for like 3-4 years now, man.
No, but you made the point earlier that his usage rate was the issue, but he's still getting usage, just down 3%. That's it.
And he's also 35 and an injury-prone star. He's not like
Correct.
He's not like
I've had an
LeBron, who's
issue.
freaking in cryo chambers every single year, like preserving his body.
Well, LeBron's a freak. Like, there's nobody
Yeah.
that's going to
Most
replicate.
Nobody's-
35-year-olds, KD
nobody's
is obviously
gonna do it.
still playing 36 minutes per game and thriving. There's a few elites at age 35 or more that can keep that usage up. Jimmy Butler's not elite on offense. That's the thing. So he needs to preserve for the defense, because you were mentioning his defense hasn't fallen, at least last year.
But
Right? His defensive rating was good. He needs to preserve it for defense.
Also, nobody plays on the other end of the ball the way he does. He's one of the most elite defenders in the league. So
Oh, yeah, for sure.
nobody is putting. We're talking about offense, but nobody's putting in the effort and making the stops that he's made, intercepting the balls that he's intercepting, and all that stuff either.
You
I
saw
just
that in the
like-
Philly playing game, right? He had 3 steals in the first half before he fucked up his MCL. Like, we're like, oh shit, Jimmy's playing
Whoa.
2-way and he's ready. Like, we know he's still capable on defense for sure.
5 steal games and shit like that. Like, come on, y'all. It's just, I think we're all just mad at the shot attempts and how he looks a little lost sometimes. on
Effort.
offense.
It's
It's
not
the
lost.
effort, right? It's the effort, the
Effort.
engagement, being engaged. For sure.
It's the system, guys. Spo told him to go in the corner. It's not his
I
fault.
think
That's right.
it's like-
Spo told him to go to the corner. That's true.
I think,
And on
exactly.
defense.
It's the effort because he's like, man, fuck this offense. And I feel it.
All right,
If I-
guys. No. Go ahead. You good? Go ahead.
No, I'm good. I was just going to say, but that's a problem if that's his attitude towards playing basketball. That's a problem.
Been there for 5 years is a long time, fellas.
No,
You get it?
because he said it out of
You know
his own
that-
mouth too. He has joy for other things off the court, as you can see. And listen, when you're getting paid, and I don't care any job, because we can't go to work in half-ass. People are going to say that this is the NBA. It doesn't matter, because guess what? All this is going to turn into is the NBA players will not get guaranteed contracts anymore. Guys like Zion Williams, who he can't put down the oxtail pizza, he can't put down the gumbo. Okay, then you have guys like Ben Simmons. They refuse to play the game of basketball. Now you have Jimmy coming out saying, I don't have any joy, okay? And they have been fabulous to Jimmy Butler. Like I said, does Pat Riley have some issues? Of course, and he admitted it on the podcast the other day that and he's changed. He even said it. He understands that this generation is different, but you have to fulfill your contract like everybody else. We can't go to work at half-ass, and neither can Jimmy Butler. All he had to do was fulfill his contract. Pat Riley said it so that we can close. He didn't say he wasn't going to pay him, but we're going to talk about it later. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially when he can opt into next year, if he really wanted to, $52 million. And Daryl Cooked, the reason why he wants this contract so bad is because at 35 years old, he knows that if he doesn't get a max now, he is never going to get it again. And he hasn't been an all-star in forever. You want max money?
Can I ask one question?
Yeah, go ahead.
After seeing what his friend Wade went through, playing throughout his contract.
That's different. That's different.
Let him finish.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
After seeing what his friend Wade, because mind you, these guys talk, right? Seeing what his friend went through, he played out his contract. Wade said it. Pat didn't even pick up the phone and call the man, right? You think Jimmy asshole Butler is gonna sit and wait for that to happen to him? Let's say you guys are gonna say Pat told him this. You really think Jimmy's just gonna take Pat's word and say, "Oh yeah, there's no track record of Pat doing this because Pat let his franchise player walk."
But Nick,
right?
he's $100 million guaranteed to him
right now.
If he wants it,
He's got years of
right now.
If he wants it,
49 and 52 next year.
Bro,
Yep.
He wants one more year to retire.
Who gives a shit? He's got $100 million if he wants it. And Pat said, we will discuss your contract if you want one more, but you can't come out here and do what you've been doing. Why do you want to keep paying someone who is holding you hostage? How
How is he holding him hostage?
He is holding them hostage, bro. You can't go out and play every night 4 against 5, bro. It doesn't work that way.
So tell Spo change the damn offense.
No, because look, so then Nick, when he's taking one-legged threes, and I want you to always pay attention to this, right? The game before he took the one-legged three, the Miami Heat came to him and like, yo, we don't think you're really trying like that. Okay? Then he comes out and takes a one-legged three. That has nothing to do with Spo. All that comes down to is that you're playing with the Miami Heat. And all I'm saying is, and trust me, like Adele and 5 Reasons, they're going to air it out eventually. Once this gets ugly, they're going to air it out eventually. All the stuff that they've allowed Jimmy Butler to do, and only God knows what they allowed him to do. And listen, I do agree with you. You have to be lenient to your superstars. But when they give you certain privileges, all Pat wants is the return on his investment. When it comes to Jimmy Butler, all we're talking about is work ethic. I cook Pat because he failed this roster, because he didn't put a power forward next to Bam. He didn't get a playmaking point guard. I'll cook Pat on that, okay? I'll cook Eric Spoelstra because some of his rotations can be bad. I'll cook Bam because guess what? He's the max player. He can't come out with 4 points. I'm sorry. You can't come out with 4 points and you're the max guy. But in terms of Jimmy Butler, it's about his work on the court. And like I said, Bernie Lee said it himself. There was only a handful of games last season where Jimmy Butler legitimately didn't want to play. My man, come on. Pat Riley already spoke to you about this behind closed doors.
He missed the third game of the season for rest, and he didn't play the
third game of the season for rest.
He missed the whole preseason. Why are you resting in game 3?
There you
go.
Put yourself in the man's shoes. You paid him. Did he not do his job here? Did he do his job? Yes or no?
Not during the regular season, and that's what you guys don't understand.
Not during the
regular season.
Current
yes,
contract, bro. He's not sitting out there with a dead man's contract. He doesn't have any here. He has a contract for next year.
Yes, he has a contract for next year.
What are you talking about?
The man has been here for 5 seasons.
I don't give a shit, Nick.
And got paid $50 million per every season.
bro.
I was gonna say the one thing that's different.
Hold on. He took us to 3 Eastern Conference finals.
I don't care.
And 2 4. What the hell you want? What do you want, Daryl? What do you want to see?
Listen,
Well, but he got compensated for that.
What kind of basketball team?
Thank you, Adele.
What kind of basketball team? No,
Said
he's
no.
on the contract now, fulfilling his job. During that contract that he's on, he did his job and took us to the finals further than anybody thought we were gonna go. So he did his job, right?
Middle of your
So
contract.
now he wants his last extension. Most 35 superstars in the league ask for that last extension. Most of them ask for 3 to 4 years. Jimmy is asking for 1. What's the problem? Jesus Christ.
Did he tell you
What?
that
And they're saying you're holding him hostage.
he
How
would
is he
Nick, did he
holding
tell
us
you he
hostage?
would not pay him? No, he didn't tell you that. That's why you keep talking. He didn't tell you that.
How is he holding us
No, but
hostage?
actually, look, he's not holding him hostage because Jimmy Butler can't get that money anywhere else. Where's he gonna get the money from?
Phoenix, just like PG.
No. Let's cross out Phoenix. Bradley Beal said he's not going nowhere.
Hey,
Bradley Beal is not going anywhere, bro.
Just like PG-13 had a market, Jimmy has a market.
Not for that much more though. Hey, next year
the CBA won't allow you to listen. There is no market. Go ask Caleb Martin. There is no market. The new CBA will cap everybody.
Hey, which goes to my point where Daryl keeps saying he's holding us hostage. How is he holding? What are we going to spend this?
Because he's taking one-legged threes in the game instead of galvanizing the troops.
Because he doesn't want to be anymore. But that's besides the point.
I don't want to do a lot of things. But guess what? If you're going to give me listen, he's arguably making like more than $5 million a month. These are people's money that he's paying with.
A lot of money to do a lot of things.
Their hard-earned money to go sit in those seats. And he's taking one-legged threes, laughing and joking.
Guess what?
Listen, they've allowed him to play dominoes, sniff coffee, ride horses, change his hair. They've allowed him to do things, and they don't care. But the minute that you start taking away from the team and the winning and trolling and doing all this foolishness, that is what they're talking about.
Will we agree the trolling really started when we didn't get Dame?
No, he's been trolling.
But you think that's Pat's fault?
I think that's Mickey and Nick's fault, but that's a whole different conversation.
Uh-oh. Hey, but there's a lot of.
I think it's Joe Cronin's fault, to be honest.
And we're playing them on Saturday, so that should be fun. Hey, one last thing though, Nick, real quick before I forget.
What's up?
So, Jimmy Butler is going to be the 11th highest paid player in the NBA if he accepted his $52 million option with the Heat, and if we wanted to renegotiate after his true final contract. That's still a top 11. Has he performed like a top 11 player in the regular season? No. Did he in the playoffs last year? No, because he got injured. But still, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Why give him that extra year? Like, let's see what he can do. He had that option. He's just being a diva, and he's holding us hostage because he's not going to get that anywhere else. Like, we let him walk, and then to Daryl's point, like we have flexibility. He's holding us hostage right now because he's ruining his return.
Here's the issue with me.
After his first contract.
Before you cuss me out.
We gave him.
Hold on, guys.
Yeah, we paid him for his past performances. He's going to be the 11th highest paid player in the NBA if he wanted to with Miami.
He wants more now. Like, I don't understand why you want to keep defending someone who has said things out loud, and now he changes it, and you want to still give it to him, and you think that this people can run business that way.
This
is my
point. Hold on. And then chime in, bro. Let me just make my main issue, y'all. It's not about even defending Jimmy. It's about defending the reputation of the Miami Heat. And I knew that's why if you look at my page, every time a player speaks out about Pat, all I put is LOL. Because I saw this shit coming. The players talk. And y'all can be prideful. Y'all can say, oh, it's Miami, it's Pat. People are going to always want to come here. A lot of people don't want to deal with this shit, man.
Who's talking?
Bro, look. Just go online and look. Everybody's talking. Everybody's talking about it right now.
Ex motherfuckers.
Everybody
who are not in the league.
If ex people who are not in the league are talking, you don't think people
or they didn't make that amount of money or whatever other reason
in the league are talking? If they're talking, you don't think people actively in the league are talking? That's what you're telling me?
So funny. So the people that want to send their developmental guys here because the organization is amazing at development
but the other guys don't want to come here now.
The stars don't want to deal with shit they don't have to deal with.
Butler, when he's on the damn court. Yeah, and you don't think players don't see what Jimmy Butler's doing on the court, and they're not sitting there saying, well, he kind of fucking deserved it.
No, they don't. I haven't heard one player say that, actually. Except Melo. I think Carmelo's the only one.
We're going to get the Perkins and the Arenases and the Paul Pierces.
Oh,
guys who had terrible endings to their careers. They're going to come out and say that crap.
You can nitpick all you want. I haven't heard a single NBA player not say Pat is tripping besides Carmelo didn't even say Pat isn't tripping. He just said, Jimmy, you better chill because Pat will take your ass out of there. He didn't even say Pat's not tripping. Everybody else said, yo, Pat is ODing.
You'll never find a player that in the league go against another player getting his money. That's never going to happen. Okay. Never. It's just not going to happen. Regardless of what he did, players are going to want to get paid. And I'm on a player's side most of the time. I think players should get paid. However, if you're not going to play, the organization has no, I don't know what you want to call it, but no, they don't owe you anything. They don't owe you another extension. If you're not going to play, you're not going to try, you're not going to be available. They don't owe you that. And I wanted to end on one thing.
Go ahead.
You said Jimmy Butler gives you still today, even when he's not trying, the defense. He's got his lowest defensive win shares of his entire career by a lot. His win shares are usually 2.7. His win shares this season is 0.07 on defense. His defensive box plus minus, which is normally a 2 or higher or like a 1.9, is a 0.07. He's not trying.
Yeah,
and that's my issue. So I want him to get paid. I want him to get all the money he can, play as long as he can until he wants to stop. It just may not be here in Miami.
We agree.
Now, guys, we have to close out the show. Make sure that you guys go to Hoops profile. Listen, he has some of the best college content and just NBA content, period, breaking down film. Make sure that you guys go to Team to Beat Miami Heat. Get him to 3,000 subscribers. Guys, I've been trying to convince Daryl he does not want to get a YouTube channel. So everyone in my comments, I know Daryl cooks, but he got to get the YouTube. Nick, you did a 4v1 today, my man. You stood 10 toes and 8. Nick going, hey, one thing about Nick, he going to stand 10 toes down for Jimmy. He don't care. And listen, this is all love, bro. This is all hoops talk. That's all it is. And I appreciate that you come on here, and that's why I got you on the show. Every single time when I see you on Twitter, beefing with everybody, I'm going to bring you on the show so that you can get your takes off. I'm going to always do that. Make sure that you guys go to all their channels. You know, to Hoops Profile, Team to Beat. Daryl, where can they find you on Twitter?
Herdsman of the Sheep, baby.
And Nick, go ahead.
Nick 2_NC. It's hell on my Twitter, man. Go ahead and follow me.
So make sure that you guys go to all their platforms, hit that subscribe button. We have 368 people in the building. Make sure that you guys do what you're supposed to do and show them some love. And thank you guys for all the support.
Thanks, guys.
Man, appreciate y'all, man.